when you get the microphone or online, state the affiliation you're with, and then ask the question. We will get back to you for your follow-up question if we have time. Normally we do. I do want to give a round of applause to Jet Lawrence, Chase Sexton, and Jason Anderson, our podium for the 450s here in Philadelphia. Jet, we'll start with you, bud. Excellent job. We were going to say that track was hard to pass on, but then in the heat race, you went down and made quite a few passes. I want to take us through that harrowing run in your heat race, and then take us through your wire-to-wire win out here in the main event.
Yeah, the start in the heat wasn't ideal. And I was wanting to turn. I could see a little window I could probably maybe sneak into, and just went to go turn, and my body turned, but then this front wheel kind of pushed out, and just couldn't save it. So I had to start from behind, and was able to find some pretty good spots to pass and get through quite quickly. We had some close moments with other riders, but yeah, we were able to find our way through. And then obviously in the main, we didn't want to start that the same way, so we made sure we try and execute a good start. Ended up getting that. The Honda hooked up Mintaz, and yeah, it definitely made life a lot easier in that main.
Congratulations, 7th win here in your rookie season in Supercross. Well done. Let's open it up to the press. Let's go to Dan Beaver.
Dan Beaver, NBC Sports for Jet. Not only do you control your own fate, but you put Webb in a position where he doesn't control his now. Does that change anything in the last 2 rounds if you have to ride with him in sight, or are you still just charging for victories?
Yeah, in my mind, job still ain't done, so I'm going to try and focus each race like he is right there. So I think that's the better way to put it. As soon as you start going conservative, it's probably not the best. So we're going to take race by race, get dealt with situations that could be bad or could go my way. So we'll see.
Haley.
Haley from Race Day Live. Chase, this question is for you. I'm looking at your speed out there. It was incredible. And for a few rounds now, we've been looking at you saying this seems like his best ride of this season. Does it feel at all that way?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I keep saying that, but tonight with how the track was, and I was just praying on the start, 'cause I had a horrible gate pick from the heat race when I went down, and I was on the very inside. I'm like, I just need to get a good start. I'll be fine. And didn't get a great start, and I was able to make my way through the pack and had some really good laps. So I think, yeah, I had a little bit more of my normal speed. I haven't really had it all year, so I feel like I'm kind of coming into form. And it's been a trying year. It's been a lot of learning, and yeah, I feel like I've grown a lot, and it's made me better. So we'll keep clicking these things off and riding outdoors during the week and trying to get ready for that, and just yeah, trying to get better with the team. And it's been a tough journey, but also made me a lot better.
Great ride. Thank you.
Scott Yarjo, Moto Now blog. Chase, where are you with the bike right now? We saw what happened last week. Is it hard to have the confidence in the machine?
No, that was just a freak accident. I mean, I haven't had a throttle stick since I've been on a 50 senior probably, and it's not fun. So I still have confidence. It's just it was a freak accident. It wasn't anybody's fault. It just it wasn't my night. So I think today we took a really big swing with the bike, something I haven't ridden at all. I just told them, like, we're obviously in no title fight, so I think it's better to test and try and get better for next year, so that way we can come in more comfortable and have a real offseason and actually train. So I think that was what we kind of went in with the mindset, and today it worked out. We swung pretty hard, and it kind of stuck. So we'll keep making progress, and like I said, it's just been a learning year and trying to get another win before the season's over.
AJ Pleasanton, Racer X. Anderson, this one's for you. You've been getting progressively better over the past couple of weeks, and I don't know what it was with you today, like your routine during the week, you vibed well with the track. What was the difference with you coming up to this weekend, and walk us through that interaction with Coop there at the end of the race?
Yeah, I think, to be honest, I think I've just been building momentum from race to race. I think even in like Foxborough, I still wasn't even really riding like myself in the heat race, and I got up there with the guys, and I was able to feel the pace and kind of get a little bit more confidence, being able to hang up there. And then last weekend, same thing. And I think today I just started finding some lines towards the end of the main event and was able to make a run, obviously make it on the podium. And with Coop there at the end, I was charging, and I knew the only way I could do it is try to go around the outside in the whoops. And yeah, I tried to squeeze him off, and he didn't want to let go. But it's I just want to be up here on the box, and I don't. It's tough because I'm Coop's always been a straight up dude, and I think it's cool to see him still fighting for titles like this late in his career. So kind of bummed that it was him, but at the same time, I want to be on the box.
Mitch Kendra from Racer X. Jason, we'll stick with you. Obviously, you were catching Tomac there, then you kind of cat and mouse a little bit, and then you caught him late. You mentioned the good lines. Did you kind of get a second win there, or kind of, just explain how you're able to get back up with him? Because it looked like he kind of dropped you, then you kind of caught him again. Just walk us through that battle with him and picking lines and stuff.
Yeah, I feel like the track tonight was really, really tough to make a pass and make a pass stick. I think the sand, I was kind of just seeing at one point if he would switch up his line, because when someone's behind you, you're trying to figure out what they're doing. So I was hoping that he would switch it up, and luckily one lap he missed the triple, but I was not close enough to even capitalize on that. And then whenever he went to the outside, I was able to triple to the inside and kind of make it stick. And then after that, I didn't realize that Coop was that close to us, and I was tripling before the whoops, and I think, to be honest, I got the podium based off of some lines that I found just being behind those guys for so long. So that little cat and mouse thing kind of made me figure out what was good and what was bad, I guess.
Victoria Beaver, Road and Track for Chase. Bouncing back from last week with a second place finish and still being a little bit further separated from first and second. What's the motivation into these next two races?
Win. That's pretty much, it's pretty simple. Just want to win races, and obviously we're out of title fight, but it still doesn't stop me from working during the week and trying to get better, and winning's always our goal.
Andrew Ruggiero, Motor Now blog. Jason, it seems like the similarities between the last two races that you've had better rides at are that they are more hard-packed tracks, whereas the other ones are softer-packed. Do you feel like that kind of plays a role in why you're doing better these last two, or is it just other factors that you mentioned?
I mean, I'm usually better on harder-packed tracks. I think just obviously us doing all of our testing in California, me living in California, I think just in general we're going to be better at it. Like these guys, they live in Florida. They ride softer dirt and stuff like that. But that's something that I gotta figure out and learn. And right now I've been riding Club MX, and luckily I was able to have the boys from Cowie out there this week to do some testing. And I think trying to get them a little bit more open-minded to giving our bike an opportunity and myself an opportunity in some of the ruddier conditions. And they're working with me, and I think it's showing.
Brad Gebhardt.
Thanks, Brad Gebhardt, Big MX Radio. Let's go to Jet on this one. You were by yourself for most of the race. What changed about the track? What lines did you have to switch up?
I was kind of able to take the same lines for most of it, more so on the rhythms. It kind of stayed the same. In the turns, I had to kind of switch up a bit just because some of the lines blew out, other lines got too deep. Like near the finish line, there was deep kind of ruts there, and you had traction, so I had to switch that up after a bit to get that 3 in. So it's more so with that, because obviously you could lose a lot of time if you didn't get that 3 before the sand. So not too many lines change. It's more lines that's kind of blowing out, but you kind of still take that same rut because there's like a faint kind of rut in it. So yeah.
Thanks. Good ride.
Thank you.
Jonathan.
Jonathan McCready, GetDrop.com. Question for Jet. Jet, I was talking to Jeffrey Herlings a few weeks ago, and he said you're the fastest rider on the planet indoors and out, and that he's glad you raced in America and not GPs. What is it like to hear that from him, who's been the fastest man on the planet for a lot of his career? Have him say that about you while he's still racing and essentially a competitor of the likes of Motocross of Nations?
Yeah, it's definitely cool to kind of hear that out of such a kind of all-time rider like Jeffrey. I mean, he's won a lot, as you see in Europe with MXGPs and that stuff. And I mean, it's cool that he says that, but I still don't think that. I still feel like I need to earn my spot there. But I mean, there's still a lot of fast guys in this that can come out with some pretty fast raw speed. But I'll take it for him because you don't get that every day. So no, it's really cool to hear.
Dan Beaver again.
Thank you.
for Jet. What changed between the starts in your heat and the main? How do you refocus that way? Obviously, you didn't have as great a gate pick in the main and still got out of the gate much faster.
Well, there's no really other option of getting a bad start, so we just had to go with kind of plan A and get a good one.
All right. Mitch, do you have another one? No, we're good. Any follow-up questions from anyone here in the media? Brad, Jonathan, y'all are good? Good to go. All right. Hey, big round of applause once again. Jet Lawrence, Chase Sexton, Jason Anderson. Let's get it started with the 250 East. A brilliant battle by everyone here. Fireworks in that main. First place, Max Anstey. Tom Vial in second, Hayden Deegan in third. Big round of applause out here for these three. Max, big fast qualifier again. This time you backed it up in the main event. Wasn't easy. Had to work on that track to get around Seth Hammaker. Just take us through that main event, how hard it was to get around him, and how it felt being out in front with all the mayhem behind you.
Well, it was nice to get a pretty good start. You know, I came around, managed to get in second pretty quick, and the crowd were going wild for Seth. Obviously, him being a Philly guy, and yeah, I was trying to set him up for a pass early on, but it was a little sketchy in the sand. I was trying in the whoops, but then I was on the outside of him, and eventually made it work with a few cross-back lines. And yeah, it was a great race. It was good fun. Obviously, got out front and could hear the crowd going wild behind, so I figured there was some carnage going on. But, you know, as far as it's gone this season, I haven't had a decent start. So even though I've been fast the whole time, it's just been hard to get out the gate. And this time to get a decent start and make life easy for myself, it was a nice race. So happy days.
Happy days indeed. You punched your ticket into the 2 SMX playoff rounds and the 1 World Championship as well. Let's go out to the press. Let's start with you, Mitch.
Mitch Kendrick from Racer X. Let's stick with Max. Obviously, you mentioned that line, the tripling into the whoops and then blitzing him. It seemed like where you were gaining a lot of time on Seth. Where did you figure out that line? And just talk us through picking that line and, like you mentioned, just gaining a lot of time there.
I did it in warm up. I actually think I saw Benny Bloss do it in the 450 practice, and then picked it up and it worked. I've felt pretty comfortable skimming the whoops all year. We just haven't had whoops that were, let's say, skimmers. Even today, they were kind of 50-50. You know, you could pretty much go the same speed at both. I was just able to do something different. If I just followed him, I wasn't hassling him. Whereas if I tripled and started sending it in there, it made it look like I was going to make a pass. Because then when he was going to the inside, he started to skim and kind of mess it up a little bit. So it was more of just trying to hassle him a little bit and do something different. I just felt pretty comfortable. I could do both. I could jump and I could skim. So
that seemed like a tight 90-degree turn. Did you have to rail that, you know, the wall, the turn, everything perfectly to hit the triple on your 250?
No, the way we've got the bike set up now, earlier in the year, yeah, I wouldn't have been able to do that. It would have been a first gear section for me. My bike was quite smooth, whereas now we've changed some primary gear stuff and I don't know, it's a whole load of stuff. But the bike's really snappy now off the bottom. So for me doing that in second wasn't too bad. just got to manage it a little bit with some. That's more in detail stuff with the bike and testing and stuff. But no, it wasn't too bad on my bike. It felt pretty good though.
Dan Beaver, NBC Sports for Tom. You have a relatively comfortable lead now, but you haven't clinched. Given how chaotic the last East-West showdown was, and that's where you guys are going to end, is there any thought to being somewhat conservative in the last race, or just go for it?
I didn't think about it yet, so I have to go home and think a little bit. But no, when I come to the race, I just want to do my best. And of course, you can't do on the last one stupid mistake or try to do stupid stuff. But I'm just gonna do my own race. I've hopefully a better start than this weekend because I was pretty far in the main event. And no, I think I'm gonna go to the last one and just ride as the best as I can.
All right, let's go. Andrea?
Andrea Ruggiero, Motor Now blog. This one's for Tom as well. How stressful was it having your main championship contender, Hayden, behind you the whole race?
Was actually good because I knew after the start I knew Hayden was right with me, because when I had the bus out I was like, okay, this one is gonna be tough, but I saw actually Hayden was right in front of me, so I was like, okay, we are together in that. And of course he was behind me and trying to push. We actually came back from pretty far to the front, and I think I had a small gap. Like it was really not like close to me to make a move, so I tried to stay like that on moto. I didn't really want him to get closer, and track was pretty gnarly actually. We passed a lot of guys, was slippery, and yeah, was pretty stressful, but I tried to push till the end, and we came back to second and third, so it was a good race.
Haley.
Haley from Race Day Live. This question's for you, Max. To the fans in the stadium and on the broadcast who saw you come off the podium, I don't think anyone could see that and not be emotional. Your team owner was in tears. Can you share maybe some words of what that first interaction with him was like when you came off the podium? This is a big one for the team, but for him especially.
Yeah, no, my team boss, he doesn't come over from Australia very often. He's had a rough few weeks. His dad actually died only a couple of weeks ago, so he's been pretty down in the dumps. So this was nice to give back to him, and you know, and to the whole crew, because they put a lot of work in, you know, as we all do. But yeah, to give back to them and the guys. Yeah, he was a bit emotional. I mean, he gets emotional over everything, but I mean, today he was very emotional. Poor Yuri, but no, it was nice. They needed it because it's been a rough week for them.
Thank you. Congrats.
Victoria Beaver for Road and Track, and for Hayden, Salt Lake City and a championship is not in your control, but with a bunch of things falling the right way, we know it's still very heavily on the table. What do these 2 weeks look like for you to get ready for that battle?
These next 2 weeks, it's since the points wise, it kind of depends how your week's going to be, but I got to start getting ready for outdoors. That's what we're coming to do next, and with such little time after Supercross, when you have these 2 weeks to work on stuff, you gotta go get some outdoor testing in, get the bike good. So the plan is to go get some outdoor testing in.
AJ Pleasanton, Racer X for Hayden Deegan as well. You know, with respect that the title is not over, you know, it's still possible. You know, is it a blessing in disguise in the event that you don't take the title, because it kind of gives you another year in the 250 class? Have you given any thought to that? Like, if there was a fast track to 450s, or would you be grateful to spend another year in the 250 class? Like, what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, 100%. I've looked at it too. You know, you win the Supercross title this year, you have 1 year to defend, and you're on a 450 at 19 or just turning 20. So that's a big step, and that's why, I mean, my goal is to win this title. But I have a long road ahead of me. I'm young, but so we have plenty of time. It's no rush. But I mean, obviously, the goal is to go try and win this championship. We're pretty far back right now, but you know, nothing. It's not over till it's over. As you guys seen with, I mean, Levi and RJ. Levi had a huge lead, one race, and RJ's back in the points lead. So anything can happen, but yeah, definitely we do pay attention to that type of stuff.
Scott Yarja, Moto Now blog. Tom, these other two guys were quadding in the big rhythm. I didn't see you do that during the day. Did you do it? And if not, like, were you considering it?
No, I didn't. Actually, didn't do. I think we actually look on cameras with the team, and the on and off was kind of similar and was a little bit more easy, I would say. So I just try to stay focused on that line and do it as fast as possible and staying on the same line the whole model.
Jeff.
Jeff Beaver, Whiskey Throttle Media. This question's for Max. Okay, we've talked enough about the race, and I want to know how you're going to celebrate. You're going to go scarf down, cheesesteak? What are you going to do tonight?
I don't know. The team boss actually is taking us out for dinner tonight because he flies back to Australia tomorrow. So I don't know. I'll leave the celebrating up to those boys. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not really a big celebrator. I tried once after the Motocross of Nations in 2017. I thought, right, I'm going to go and get drunk. I was asleep by 11:30. I tried. I was like, right, I'm going to go that hard. I'm going to get sick after it. And went downhill. So I'm not a big guy for that, but I'll leave it up to them.
I'd say go get the steak and lobster because it always tastes better when the boss buys.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, congratulations, bud.
100%. Let's go to Brad Gephardt.
Thanks, Brad Gephardt, Big MX Radio. Let's go to Tom on this, and Hayden, if you want to chime in, by all means. Brutal start, and you guys both basically chased each other through the pack, and with 4 minutes to go, you essentially had the lead and the race right in front of you. Take me through that a little bit of basically just like racing forward and having a chance to win the race even that late.
When I was far behind, I didn't really think we could come back that close to the lead, but we passed a lot of guys, and the track was actually, after the heat race, I was like, oh, this is really tough to pass, but I don't know, we actually made a lot of pass during the main event, but was tough. Like, the track was slippery, so it was really easy to slide or make some small mistake, and I really tried to stay focused and, of course, stay ahead of Hayden, and that works pretty good for me tonight.
Jonathan McCready.
John McCready, GetDrop.com. Question for Tom. Tom, we saw in GPs in a close title fight with Jaguar Gertz how good you were under pressure there. Does that experience help you in the likes of tonight when you're coming through the field with Hayden? And what do you feel makes you so good under pressure? Because you always seem ice cold.
I mean, yes, it can help and not. Like it can go either way, I would say. Like it can go your way tonight and the next weekend maybe not. So you just trying to stay focused on myself and not really think about that title or the other rider. I staying focused on myself during the whole race, during the whole day too, during the practice and everything. So it works, always working pretty good that way for me. So I just try to stay like that during the last race we had.
Good job tonight, thank you.
Mitch Kendrick, Racer X. Hayden, it seemed like every time you got behind Tom, there was like a guy ahead of you. There was always a guy between you guys. Not that you would do anything dirty, but was there like a frustration of like, man, I just can't even get a clean pass attempt, even just to get around him?
Yeah, definitely. I got behind Tom a couple times, and it was like Tom would make a pass, and I'd get stuck behind the guy. Then I'd get around that guy, and I'd get right back to Tom, and then another guy. And I was like, the best chance for me to try and pass Tom was when he got behind Pierce, because Pierce is a good rider, so he's very hard to pass. And I was like, this is going to be my chance to try to get around Tom. But Pierce ended up making a mistake, and Tom stuck right under him, and Pierce went right in front of me. I was like, damn it. But, yeah, I mean, overall, it was good. We got on the podium. We're in, we're out and clean, we're safe, and we're just continue to keep learning.
Scott Yarjimoto now blog. Max, were you aware of all the chaos happening behind you? Like, was it really hard to stay focused?
No, I mean, I could hear the crowd going a little wild, but as soon as I realized that Seth wasn't behind me, I had a little gap. I started just taking safer lines. Like I went back to jumping the whoops. I didn't send the sand as hard. So, and I only had like 3 minutes left. So I was like, okay, it's not too crazy. I still had I don't know, it was quite a nice race. I actually felt like it wasn't too difficult for me. That's always the way when you get out front. It's like just a training race. So, it was nice to just click off my laps and I just felt like I was hitting my marks. If I needed to step up again, I felt like I still had some energy and some. I could push harder if I needed to, but it was tricky. It was one of those where there was a lot of little rocks, and I didn't want to do something stupid like slide out going into the first turn, or even after the whoops, like that turn up the face of the finish jump. So I started once I had a gap, to search for some easier lines. Like I started going outside to inside, like on the smooth stuff. It might have been a little slower, but it was quite easy to do. It was nicer to do. I was just trying to manage it like that because, you know, I didn't want to do anything silly and wanted that bonus check.
Yeah, one last one here for Hayden. If you don't get the Supercross title, whether Pro Motocross you win or not, is there kind of like a extra motivation knowing going into SMX you're going to have that #1 plate?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, shoot, if that happens, it's the second year getting second, so it's going to hurt, but it just, you know, it motivates me to work harder. But we have a whole outdoor season coming up, too, and that's where the dog comes out, and I feel like I have that in me, and I showed that last year in outdoors in my rookie season that I could contend for wins and had the red plate at a few points, and now having Hunter and Justin Cooper out, it's going to be a little bit of a different story. So we're ready for outdoors, excited for that, and then, yeah, run the #1 plate in SMX. That would be a really cool feeling.
Jonathan, do you have a follow-up?
Yeah, just one for Max. Max, Tommy Searle's back on at 250. You mentioned Motocross of Nations earlier. You just won tonight. Are you in play for Motocross of Nations for GB at Matterley again, or what is the thought process there?
No. I would obviously love to have raced Matterley, but my team that I'm on right now is primarily Supercross, and I'm contracted to do Australian Supercross and World Supercross, but I don't know what's happening there. So the focus is on that. Yeah, it's tough, you know, to get over there and all that stuff with my guys and bikes and build a bike for outdoors. You know, we've built a specialized bike in Supercross, and I'm happy to get these results and race with these guys. But outdoors is a different story. So, no, I'd love to do Matterley this year, but I can't do better than what I did in 2017. So I might have to just leave it there unless something drastic changes. But I heard the Nations is in America next year, so I'll be in for that one because, yeah, we've got some good things coming.
No problem. Great ride tonight. Thank you.
Good things coming indeed. Let's have a round of applause once again for Max Anstey, Tom Vial, and Hayden Deegan. Your podium here for round 15 in Philadelphia. And, yeah, thanks again to all our VIPs, our press, both online and in person. We appreciate you. We'll see you next week in Denver, Colorado for round 16. And again, we have, after that, one more round in Salt Lake City for the East-West Showdown. And, of course, 11 rounds of Pro Motocross and then the 2 playoffs and the World Championship. So thanks again. We'll see you all next week in Denver.